Hi, my name is Paul. Welcome to the Vanish Magic Magazine review for this month. Today we're going to check out Titan by Scott St. Clair. I must say before I start, I love book tests. I perform a book test in every single adult show that I do, and this has become one of my favourite book tests. I have my favourites. This is one of them, and I'll explain why. There's a lot of work and a lot of thought gone into this. The principles used in this book test are things I haven't seen before, so they're new. Some of them are new to me, and I think there are additions on things that we may have seen before in book tests, but Scott has put them into this book test in a way that is super clever and people just won't suspect. First of all, let's look at what you get. Obviously you get the instruction book, you get a regular book which is gimmicked, but it can be read. I'll go over that in a minute. And you get this other book that is gaffed to the hilt. So the first thing is this book. First of all, the story. I love the story. This is actually not a true story. This is actually, the original Futility was written in, I think, the late 1800s. And it's about a ship that went out to sea, a huge ship, the biggest ship in the world at the time, went out to sea, hit by an iceberg, it sank, it didn't have enough lifeboats, and it was called Titan. Now keeping in mind this was written in the late 1800s, the Titanic happened in, I think it was, 1912? So it's quite an amazing story to think that somebody had written the story and then the Titanic happened, but even more so that the ship was called Titan. I think so the story itself is a great story. People will want to read this. Anyway, so the book you get is Futility. It's based on, that's the story. And a couple of things about the book. First of all, the book can be handed out. Spectator, if they want to go through it, they can. Don't let them do it during your show because you want them to watch you, but they can look at this book, although they won't find the secrets, they won't find the gimmicks, they won't find the really clever hidden things inside this book. The other really nice thing is that it's easy read. In fact, both books that you can use in this performance are easy read. And I really love this idea. I'm not sure why people haven't done it before. The text is slightly bigger than regular text, making it really easy for somebody to read it, especially somebody like me with bad eyesight. But it really makes a big difference. The method used in here is, I want to say, diabolical. It's really great. It would fool everybody. Just this book alone. So the nice thing about this book test alone is also that it's completely hands-off. So spectator takes the book, they can look through it. I mean, they're not going to find anything, you don't care. They can get to the page. There's so much you can do with this. Most book tests are about just finding words and you're able to say, oh, this is the word. But this book test is structured with a really great routine. You can perform it, as I said, just as a standalone. You can add this book, you can add a regular dictionary and have a whole great piece in your show, which I really like. So it's more than just a regular book test. So to start with, they look at a page, they read say a paragraph or just a few lines, and they get a picture of something in their mind. You're able then, and remember, it's all hands off. There's no peaks, there's no switching, there's nothing. You're able to tell them the image they're thinking of. You could draw it if you want, and then reveal it in a way. Whatever you want, you can reveal that image. Then you can have them look for a word. You can reveal a word if you want. There's quite a few things you can do just with this book alone. And as I said, it's all hands off. There is a built-in crib if you want to use it, but there's nothing to memorize. So unlike other book tests where you need to memorize a lot of things, absolutely nothing to memorize. I love this. Then you add in the second book, Frankenstein. So now you've got two books. This book takes it to another level. This book is gimmicked to the hilt. Now they couldn't really read this, but it is gimmicked to the hilt. So it now gives you can have two spectators on stage. You can hand this out. You're not too worried about it. You can hand it out. Everyone's familiar with the story of Frankenstein anyway. And this enables you can use it in combination with this book, but you can do quite a few different revelations in this book as well. Some really clever methods in here that I've never come across before. One in particular I absolutely love, and it's impossible for anybody to figure out how it works, but basically they can take a paragraph, they look at a line, any word on anywhere, and they can just they eventually get to a word completely at random, and you're able to tell them what the word is. When I read that really was something I'd never come across before. So there's lots of great things built into the second book. The second book, as I said, is used in conjunction with the first book in really clever ways. There are principles used in this book that I think have been done before, but he's taken those principles and added to them. So I think Scott's done an amazing job with this. There's a lot of work gone into this book test. I'm surprised it's selling for what it is. I think it should be double because it really is one of the best. So you get a lot of, I counted at least 12 different things I can do with this book test. I know in the instructions, I think they mentioned 7, there's at least 7 things you can do just with the book tests. I think there was something like 5 in the first one alone. The other thing you do is you can add, now I love the full routine with a dictionary, so now you can include a third book, which is just a regular dictionary. And you would have a prediction up front, and then the prediction actually isn't a word, but it's a number, and then somebody looks at a word, and the finale is they look at a word, they look at the prediction, and the prediction is a number, and it turns out that that number is the page number and so on in the dictionary, which matches the word they're thinking of. It's a great finish. So you can combine a dictionary with this and get a really lovely structured routine. You can have 2, 3 people, you can hand this out. It's really, really well thought out. Lots of great things about this book test that I absolutely love. The actual books themselves, the beautiful quality, the fact that this can be handed out if you just want to do this alone is just terrific.